Yes, sir. I'm working too hard for everything that I got. So, all right, we have a sponsor for the show today. Brought to you by Vinovan. Ayo, folk, tired of that corner store tasting like regret? It's Neal, Jones, and Vets. And this Vinovan about to take y'all on a wine tasting glow up. For real. Hop in. They hidden vineyards, sipping red, white, blues, and pinks. You ain't gotta know Shiraz from Chardonnay. See, you worry too damn much. They lit either way. Book this at thevinovan.com. 21 and up, no cap. Hashtag Vinovan vibes. Tell you goddamn one thing. Motherfucker gonna try to tell me this goddamn too. Jesus, I'm gonna slip some in the street. Straight like that. Boom! Hey, look, what's going on? It's Working Wednesday. Let's jump right into the show. Let's work, class in session. Let's see what the streets been watching, see what the streets been doing, so we know what to expect, what to look out for. But before I do that, let's get out our phones, grab our remotes, and click like, please, folks. Click like and leave a comment. Engagement is important. You about to get this work, about to get this info. I'm your host, Neal Jones. I can be reached at Neal Jones Invest on TikTok and YouTube at any time. So let's work. All right, folks, let's talk about Apple, the tech giant with a market cap bigger than some countries' GDP. Pulling the move straight out of Hollywood movie, you know, like Scarface, something like that, right? Word is Apple allegedly flew 5 planes loaded with iPhones from India to the US to dodge President Trump's looming tariffs. 5 planes. That's not just a logistics flex. It's a desperate scramble to skirt fees that could have jacked up iPhone prices for you and me. Think about the cost of the stunt. Airplane fuel, talking about tens of thousands of gallons, all right? Pilots, crew, and workers hustling to load 600 tons of iPhones. Roughly 1.5 million devices on a cargo jets. That's a small fortune in labor alone. Apple even lobbied Indian airports to slash customs clearance from 30 hours to 6 hours just to beat the little tariff clock. This was not just a little errand. The same way they do us. It was a high stakes operation. Here's something else. If the #1 company in the world with all its billions is resorting to these drug cartel style tactics to avoid tariffs, what does that say about the fees being slapped on American companies and its consumers? These tariffs are so steep that Apple had to play corner cutter, airlift them product just to save $1. That cost, one way or another, trickles down to us, customers, whether it's gonna be pricier iPhones or thinner profit margins. That's a wild look for a company that our government usually holds up as a sign of start now, while frowning on others with similar money moves. Makes you wonder, are these tariffs protecting our wallets or just forcing everyone, corporations and consumers alike, into a chaotic game of dodgeball? You let me know what you're thinking in the comments. It's on you. And Louis Vuitton is struggling to find qualified workers at its Texas facility. Louis Vuitton is paying $17 an hour to produce made in USA bags to appease Trump's tariffs. Look, this particular Louis Vuitton is significantly plagued on by a shortage of skilled leather workers and high rates of waste reportedly up to 40%. Like motherfuckers just wasting, but and that's double the industry's standard. All right, look. Despite offering $17 with no experience required, the quality of work has reportedly suffered, with claims, which is the truth, basically in this situation, that some supervisors encourage shortcuts to meet production goals, like melting the leather, and, like the cover up stuff they messing up on. Let the people know how that make you feel as an investor investing in the LVMH. Is this wine or weed? Is this green or red? Do you see this improving the stock? Do you see this bringing down the value of the stock? Just drop it in the comments. Just drop it in the comments. So more this week in the streets. The streets is watching. Monday was nothing for us. Tuesday wasn't nothing for us. Wednesday, retail sales. Let me see, business inventory, asset utilization. U.S. Federal Reserve gonna speak up and say something about that. I'll look into that. Well, matter of fact, I missed it, so I'm gonna go back and look back into that. Weekly unemployment claims, U.S. Department of Labor. I'll wait to hear what that number is. The market's gonna be closed Friday because of Good Friday. Price of gold climbed. Yeah. up 22% for the year since January. The S&P 500 almost entered the bear market on Tuesday. This week been so crazy. The market is unsettled. The back and forth of the week's tariff-related news. U.S. sent stock and overseas markets on the wild ride, producing big intraday swings. Yeah, we saw that. Got a little spikes up, but come back down. And that's it for the Streets is Watching report. Now, let's look at the money. For y'all new people, this is the next segment we call Let's Look at the Money, where we go over the S&P 500. We go over the amount of money inside my account before we talk about the money, which then we'll play wine or weed, and we'll go into if my profits are up or if I'm taking losses on certain investments. But let's look at the money first. Let's look at the VIX. Let's look at the S&P 500. Let's look at the Fear and Greed Index. Let's go from there. So the Fear and Greed Index is at a 15, giving a signal of extreme fear, which means investors are very scared. Right now, day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, a lot of people are often selling stocks, which can drive the prices down, right? And what is the Fear and Greed Index? It's basically the forecast, right? You remember the weather forecast for money. Fear is like a rainy day, right? People inside, they scared to get caught up and, get wet, stuff like that. So they stay inside, they selling, they out of the mix, right? And greed, it's like a sunny day. When it's sunny, people are outside. They want to know what the next move is. They in motion. So again, people are selling, driving the price down. It's driving the market into extreme fear, right? For the stock market, right, it suggests volatility or a potential bottom, as fear often precedes a rebound. That's why I say invest a small portion of your investment money or your savings money into the S&P 500, which I invest into the VOO, right? I'm gonna tell you the good and the bad with this, right? The good is if you buying low prices, and that could be a bargain for a long-term gain. You get what I'm saying? And it's bad because if you holding or selling, right, your portfolio may lose value for short term. And plus, if you got any trades which are short term, you will lose that money. But stay calm, assess your goals, and avoid panic moves. We're gonna be good. Let's look at the VIX. Stay with me. Hey, look, let's look at the money. We're looking at the money now. The VIX hit 3303 today, which signals high volatility in the stock market, meaning investors and traders expect big price swings. It's a sign of fear and uncertainty, often tied to market drops or crises. For the market, expect choppy trading. All right, so like stocks may fall or fluctuate wildly, but for me, all right, it's good. If you're a long-term investor buying long-term, volatility can create entry points. But it's bad if you holding or selling your portfolio. Like you can lose the value if you have short-term positions, like those option plays y'all keep getting in, or if you just a day trader. Stay cautious and avoid rash decisions. Align moves with a financial plan. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your fiduciary, all right? Take the show, take me as part of your research. And when the research you hear from me is good, great, or unforgettable, please share it with a friend, family member, coworker, and let's get this money. Let's work. The next chart is still the VIX, but in its week, all right? In 1 week, you can see it done went down, all right? So that's good. That's better than what it was. But the chart after that, you see, that's a 5-year chart of the VIX. So in 5 years, it's in the highest parts it's ever been in. So I guess we can say by the numbers, when Joe Biden was in office, these are numbers, so it's facts. I'm not speaking truth, I'm speaking facts. I'm not speaking opinionated, I'm speaking facts. Those 4 years Biden was in there, the ups and downs of it was still going more down. I mean, things was going better more than they were doing bad. But now, seeing old buddy in there, y'all know who old buddy is, Trump, what I'm talking about? I don't even know if I can say his name or I be feeling like I'm getting like shadow banned or what is it called on Facebook when you do something like you just getting put in the back for saying certain stuff, man. But yeah, since Buddy in there, man, we see the numbers, man. The stock market ain't really fucking with it. Next is the S&P 500 day chart. You can see for the day it's down 3.09%. And since last Wednesday, on working Wednesdays, it's down 2.31%. And since January, we done brought the S&P 500 down to 10, almost 11% in the red. Well, go ahead and say it. Wine a week. Wine, right? Let's say it. Wine. Next, let's pull up the account, the inflation portfolio. You can see I'm down in the red today. Yeah, $79,944.31 is in that account today. You've seen me start this account at 100,000. You see me brought this account all the way up to $208,000, and now I'm down to $79,944.31 without putting an extra dollar into it, without taking any money out of this account. But you're gonna see me get to $1 million in this account. Easy. You gotta stick to the plan. Don't get shaky. Don't start being everywhere when stuff start getting that, and that's what they call blood in the street, stuff like that. But yeah, don't get scared when it's, the streets getting scared, man. We hold it down. Hold it down. You already know. Keep up. Yeah, this how a nigga roll. Keep the count on the green. You feel me? You got to keep that thing working now. Working now. Now, next segment, let's talk about the money. So before we go over any option calls or option puts, which I don't have, but again, before we go over any option calls, let's go over the stocks. What we see right here: Apple, AAPL, right? Vanguard took a VOO. Microsoft took a MSFT. Wine or weed? Wine, right? Yeah. So you see negative $247. I'm down on Apple. I'm down $121 right now on VOO, which is the S&P 500, which ain't bad. Apple, tomorrow you're going to see me add some more shares right there. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know. But, if you want to know the actual price, just hit me up and you'll see how to get into, invest with my close friends. CBFFW, all right? You can't be financially fucked with. What you want, bro? Got the wine of weed, man. We working. In Microsoft, I'm down only 5% inside my holdings. I'm losing $828.66. Right? I know I said only. To some people, that's very big, but when you keep making more money and more money as you follow along, your reality that you have right now changes later on. So reality changes as you keep progressing. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, y'all. If I make sense, put yes in the comment for me. All right? Share it with a friend. Share it with a family member. Share it with a brother, sister, co-worker. Hey, man, let's work. And a quick fact: if you invested into the S&P 5 years ago in 2020, instead of holding that 2K into that Chase savings account, you would have today received a 82% return. A 82% return in the green. Or what we say, the account would have been in the weed up there. Work. Stop playing with me, man. Look. All right, let's go back. Meta, we see the ticker, right? When we see a ticker next to a dollar amount, we call that dollar amount what? Yes, you said it right. You right there. Whoever, yep. I'm here with you, all right? Let's help everybody else. All right, you see that dollar amount right there? You call that a strike price. So basically it's hitting that number. But go back and you look behind that and you see what is called a ticker symbol. And what is a ticker symbol? A ticker is just a nickname Wall Street calls a company to easily look them up. Boom, right? So look, this right here says Meta hitting $710 by September 19, 2025. And this is a call. Right? Could you see the word call right there? If it was a put, which means that we betting that it's gonna go down, or we're making a deal that it's gonna go down, right? It'll say put, but we're making a deal that it's gonna go up, all right? Kind of like when you make a deal on a car when you come into the dealership, right? So right now you can see that I'm losing $21,632 on this call. I usually don't tell people that, matter of fact, I ain't gonna tell you how many contracts I got. But just know, this is wine. Palo Alto hitting $205, ANET hitting $122.50, NVIDIA hitting $150, and Amazon hitting $150 are all wine today in the market. Google hitting $150, right? Let's stop right there because the rest of them are stocks. That's the last option inside this account. By January 16th of 2026, right? When this possibility of a profit is expiring, right? Is it wine or weed today? And you can look over to the right and you'll see that I'm down 64%, but I haven't sold, right? My account feel it, but it's not reality because I haven't sold it, right? So with that being said, you see that I'm down at the moment $7,676, right? I don't have no money to give. I don't have no money to share. I don't have no money to spare. What's understood ain't got to be explained. Spend that. So look, but we still good, all right? We still living. We still have assets. Just like if you own a business or if you own real estate, you have times where you don't make money, right? You're not losing money, but you're not making money. So all the Chanel bags and all that right now, it comes to a stop, comes to a pause. I don't buy Chanel bags, nothing like that. I'm just saying, this is for YouTube. Boom. All right, look, try to come rob me or nothing like that, because you ain't gonna get shit. You probably get something, but I ain't even say that on the microphone. You know, that's how you wrong. Get the yeah. Continue. Let's talk about the money some more. Look, Eli Lilly, right? Ticker LLY. Just the stock, not an option. You can see the market is down. S&P is even down. Don't be the person stuck in what if. Don't miss out on possibilities. Don't miss out on opportunities. Everybody is scared. Everybody's selling. Everybody's in the red. But inside this position, I am weed. I am what you call in the green, right? Boom. We already know by now. If you're kind of slow, it's all right. It's okay. Nobody's too slow. I probably shouldn't have said that. That has a bad connotation. I think that's the word. The way we intake that, all right, is kind of negative. But boy, we wine or weed. Let's talk about the money. Look, wine or weed. Inside this position, LLY, which is the ticker, you can see over to the right, I have $109 positive in the account, basically in my pocket right now, right? If I sold, right? Which we're gonna let this, what we call a plant, this bulb, this bulb right here, keep growing, right? And it's gonna flourish. This flower's gonna be the best flower ever smoking, right? Because that's how we do it around here, you know. Draw, this, now I'm about to show the lean in this, all that, yeah. So Eli Lilly, weed today, Black Rock. Okay, a little 3% in the wine, you know, ain't nothing wrong with a little sip here and now. Boom, it is what it is, losing $171. It can be way worse, you seen just a couple minutes ago. Anyway, JP Morgan Chase. Still blowing fruity. Y'all know what that is. If you don't, man, you know, it is what it is. Wine or weed, JP Morgan. In the green, great. Well, that's all for this form of class tonight, folks. I thank you for watching to this point. If this show was good, great, or unforgettable, let me know which one in the comments below. Please hit me up in the comments below. All right? If you learned anything from this show, put a yes in the comments. To keep the working Wednesdays working, right? Keep it evolving. Keep it, you know, becoming bigger and better. Do your part, and I'm going to do mine. I got you. Look, share this right now with 2 people. Like and subscribe, folks. Hey, that's it. Just look out for me. Just boom, like that. And remember, when we learn together in groups and collaborative learning, people retain the information better, solve problems more effectively, stay motivated, and develop critical thinking skills better. So what better way to do it over wine or weed? The new show in the trap, new show on your street, new show in the streets. Boom. And working Wednesdays at 8 p.m. every Wednesday on YouTube. Boom, right? This is Neal Jones, also known as Neal Jones Invest. How can I find you? What's your number? Gotta stay in touch. I can be found on TikTok and YouTube at Neal Jones Invest with $100,000 worth of information. All right? Just like that. Boom. Straight like that. Straight.